Welcome to this explainer. I'm your managing director, and I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are going to do something highly strategic. We are cracking the code on Cambridge 9709 vectors. But we aren't just looking at this like a standard classroom lesson. No. I want you to picture yourself stepping onto a sleek, ultra-modern corporate pitch stage in Silicon Valley. Above you is a live grade valuation meter mapping your baseline marks all the way up to a top-tier $1 million valuation. On the screen behind me is your market risk chart, tracking your assessment objectives, AO1, AO2, and AO3 in real time. Today, we are zooming in on your core product offerings, the Scalar product, finding angles between lines, and calculating the foot of the perpendicular. We are going to evaluate your essay structures with the strict precision of a chief technology investment officer.
So, let's address the massive market risk right off the bat. Why are vectors notoriously misunderstood? It is consistently one of the most volatile areas of the mathematics syllabus. Year after year, brilliant students, hit a wall when they pitch this topic. But we're going to fix your pitch deck right now by showing you exactly how the venture capitalists, your examiners, think, how they structure the mark schemes, and how they actually grade your papers. Once you see the matrix of how they value your answers, you literally cannot unsee it.
Look at this direct audit pulled straight from the Principal Examiner Reports Our Valuation Board. It says, students confuse cause and effect in vectors, costing them crucial marks. This is exactly why your valuation margin crashes. It isn't always that your underlying tech is bad or that you don't know the math. It's that you confuse the terminology and the basic causal relationships. For example, a student might assume two lines are perpendicular to calculate a scalar product rather than calculating the scalar product to practically prove they are perpendicular in the first place. It's a subtle flip, like pitching your revenue before you've even built the product. To an examiner, it changes everything, and your funding drops to zero.
Today's agenda is your venture capital playbook. First, we map out the cognitive domains. Second, the procedural framework. Third, top examiner warnings. And finally, evaluative strategies. Let's start the clock.
Section 1. Cognitive Domains and Core Principles. We are setting up the foundational architecture here.
The evaluation board doesn't just grade right or wrong answers. They test three distinct cognitive domains. Imagine two co-founders pitching to me. We have Alex, highly technical developer. Alex overloads the slide deck with raw code infrastructure, just raw facts, textbook definitions of the Scalar product. That is your first domain, knowledge and understanding. It's essential, but Alex lacks a monetization strategy. Then we have Sam, the charismatic marketer. Sam delivers a highly persuasive narrative pitch but has absolutely zero data backing the assets. Sam completely misses the command word constraints. To scale this business, you need the second domain, application, where you actually use that knowledge in a standard problem, like finding the angle between two specific direction vectors. And finally, analysis. This is the rigorous domain where you synthesize information, like finding the foot of a perpendicular in complex 3D space. You have to systematically demonstrate your ability to scale through all three domains to unlock the top-tier A-star valuation.
The theoretical framework of your startup rests on precise definitions, yes. But candidates who successfully integrate vectors with other syllabus areas, they achieve significantly higher market caps. Think about it like API integrations. If you can connect your vector geometry to your understanding of trigonometry or calculus, you are showing the valuation board a level of mathematical maturity that practically forces them to award you top marks. Cross-topic connections are your ultimate valuation multiplier.
Section 2. The procedural framework. Now we map out the execution logic.
Picture Alex and Sam in the tech war room right now. The digital countdown clock is ticking. They are trying to merge their assets to pitch an unassailable model response paragraph. By rigidly following this 5-step procedural framework, you ensure you don't just guess the right answer, but you mathematically prove your logic to the board. Step 1. Deconstruct the market opportunity brief. What is the question actually asking? Step 2. Extract the data. Pull out those position vectors. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. Alex is yelling, "Let's just dump the definitions." But Sam fires back, "No, we need a direct analytical thesis string. Are we using the scalar product or setting up parametric equations?" Step 4, execute with flawless working. And Step 5, present and verify. Does the answer actually make logical sense in 3D space? They are refining their paragraph layout live, tracking their metric progress on screen to ensure complete compliance.
As Alex and Sam execute that 5-step framework, they realize presentation isn't just aesthetic. Applying these strict conventions is a rigid compliance requirement. Using proper headings, the correct vector terminology like I, J, K notation or column vectors consistently, appropriate formats, and clear annotations. This is a professional skill required to secure your execution marks. If your code structure is a chaotic mess on the page, the VC board cannot fund you. Clear notation literally locks in your valuation.
Section 3, Top Examiner Warnings, the most critical system bugs to avoid.
Valuation pause. Stop the clock. Before we unlock this top-band paragraph architecture to scale your final grades, we need to optimize your educational asset flow. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams, @AceTheExams, and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly high-yield strategy drops. Whether you are hacking exams at IGCSE, O-levels, or AS and A-levels, hit that bell icon right now. Okay, we're back in the boardroom. Examiners have identified 3 massive, recurring mistakes students make.
Suddenly, mid-pitch, Alex and Sam hit an unexpected system bug. Their evidence links drop out, threatening a total valuation crash. Why? Because they hit the classic pitfalls. Number 1, confusing cause and effect. Don't use the result to prove the premise. Number 2, forgetting to check format. A classic example is leaving an angle in degrees when the investor implicitly required radians, or giving a coordinate point when a position vector was explicitly asked for. And number 3, providing generic non-specific answers that completely ignore the context of the question. You cannot pitch a generic business model, you must anchor your final answer to the actual scenario presented in the exam paper.
So I have to step in with a structural optimization matrix to save their pitch. Under intense exam pressure, your working memory can easily get overloaded. To avoid mixing up this vital terminology and fix the logic flow instantly, create a custom mnemonic hack. I gave them SPAF, Scalar Product, Angle, Foot. When you see a complex 3D vector question, just write SPAF at the top of your page. It acts like the Peel structure for an essay. It grounds you. It reminds you of the core tools in your tech stack. Do I need the scalar product? Am I finding an angle? Do I need the foot of the perpendicular? It's a simple mental trigger that keeps your analysis perfectly balanced, and they rewrite their text out loud, line by line, creating a high-scoring block of text.
Section 4, Evaluative Thinking Strategies. Time for the final audit.
All right, I'm handing control over to you for a live compliance audit challenge. Let's look at the difference between a descriptive approach and an evaluative one. Challenge 1, the rapid market scan. Imagine a complex source data chart on screen. A 60-second visual countdown timer is running. You must isolate the core trend. Notice how Alex's basic descriptive approach just lists information. It's a data dump of formulas. But an evaluative approach, like a top-tier candidate, questions assumptions, evaluates alternatives, and justifies decisions. Challenge 2, identify the compliance liability. If I show you a flawed, medium-tier sample student response, you need to locate the exact line where poor logic drops the score. An evaluative candidate doesn't just calculate a point. They state, since the scalar product is 0, the direction vectors are orthogonal, which mathematically confirms this point is the foot of the perpendicular. See the difference? That is where the examiner logic is revealed.
This is the ultimate critical analysis sequence. Deconstruct, solve, evaluate. Break the complex vector problem down, solve it logically step by step, and crucially, this is the part most founders skip, evaluate your result. Check it for reasonableness. If you calculate the shortest distance between 2 skewed lines and your answer is negative, your evaluation step should trigger massive alarm bells before you move on. You must make justified recommendations to close the deal.
Let's watch the grade valuation meter peak. Alex and Sam deliver their newly engineered response paragraph, and boom! The meter maxes out at the $1 million A-star score. Series A funding completed. To distill this entire session into 3 universal rules, first, the decoding. Master the 3 cognitive domains. Don't just memorize, apply and analyze. Second, the timing. Follow the rigid 5-step procedural sequence to lock in your method marks. And third, the quality review checklist. Always anchor your evaluative analysis to the specific scenario given in the question.
So as you dive back into your studies and pull up that next past paper, I have a question for you. Which specific step of that 5-part procedural framework are you going to implement today to secure your top marks? Vectors aren't just abstract lines on a page. They are the foundational geometry of the 3D world around us. If you can decode how examiners evaluate your logic here, what other complex systems can you master next? Time for the final action step. Subscribe to Ace the Exams at Ace the Exams, click that notification bell for weekly grade masterclasses, and drop a comment below right now sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, IGCE, OAS, or A level, you are preparing to conquer next. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Class dismissed and pitch successful.